Hello everyone, before we go to the video, let me show you what we will be doing. So we can create a task with some title, some description, submit it, it's going to display in there, update it, and eventually delete it. There you go, CRUD.
Django Python, JavaScript, tutorials for Jamie, this is Silver.
What the fuck, HTML?
There's only C.
Hello, let's take a look on how to use CRUD with Django. What is CRUD? CRUD is a common set of operations when you have a database with you, which is to create, read, update, and delete it. So this is more related to a database than to Django or to web development. So CRUD will come up in different fields, but always when you have a database. So it's a common set of operations that refer to a database. It's not a protocol like HTTP or something. It's really just a form of interaction with a database. Now, in this video, we will be using this task model as an example. So it could be something for a to-do list. You can create a task, read it, update it, eventually delete it. And I'll be following this post in my blog. I'm going to leave the link in the description in case you want to follow from there and copy paste the code. You are welcome. Also, we'll be downloading this simple project, Django project, from my GitHub page. I will also leave the link in the description so we can skip the part of creating the Django project. So I will start really from there with this git clone. Gonna clone it into my desktop. And yeah, Python manage.py run server. Let's open that with the text editor. Yeah, this project has an app named Pulse. The project name is my site, by the way. And in here, we will start by creating a model. So let me open my post in my other screen so I can follow from there. And let's create this model named task. We'll inherit from models.model, and we can give it two fields, title. Let's make it a char field with max length be 100, and then a description field for the task. And this time we can make it a text field, so we don't need a max length attribute for that. Optionally, you can define the string method. So instead of returning the primary key, we can return the title of the object whenever we instance. Okay, from the models, it's that we can already migrate this. So Python manage.py make migrations, success, and after that migrate it. Perfect. One other thing that we can use at this point is the admin dashboard. So from models, import, could import everything, but all we need is really just a task model, and use admin.site.register task. Okay. Now, if we go to the admin dashboard, and let's do that, we open a window, localhost/admin. if you downloaded that project from GitHub, you have a user admin with a password admin. Yeah, skip the password warning, never use that in production. And here we have the tasks model. So we can add a task already from here, which is CRUD. If you notice, add a task, create a task. First, task, first, description, save. So we have just created a task. We can update it. We are reading it. And eventually, you could delete it optionally. Okay. So whenever you have a database, this thing will come up. All right, continuing. Now, what we want is not to use the admin dashboard, of course. We want to have like some fancy page with a form where the user can create a task, update it, delete it, and read it. Okay, let's take care of that. I'm going to close this file and also this file and open views.py in polls. Now, there's already a class-based view in here, but we will create one other named create task. Now, create task is going to inherit from a generic Django view named CreateView, but we need to import that. So from Django.views.generic.edit import CreateView. And already we can also import the task model. So from models, import task. Now create task is going to inherit from CreateView. And now all of the methods and attributes created by Django in CreateView we can use in here. And one of those attributes is model. And like this, we associate this class-based view to the task model. Just like that, it takes one single attribute and it's associated with task. Okay. Now, this will serve a template to the user, to the client. Okay. And we can choose which fields are going to the user or to the client. So there's one other attribute and we can assign it a Python list with the fields that we want to send. So in this case, we can really send everything. So the title and the description. And there's one last attribute that we will define. So when the user submits a task in the form, we want to redirect the user to some other template or to the same one. It doesn't matter. The point is this attribute is named success URL. And for now, I'm just gonna make it the root. All right, let's leave it like this for now and create a path for this in urls.py. I'm really going to copy that one and use it. So create task slash, not index this time. It's going to be create task and give it a name so we can use it later in the template tags of the template. Save that. Make sure you saved views.py. Now we are missing something, the template itself. So we need to create a template that will be sent to the user or to the client. We have two options here. You either can define a template name, some template, .html. You can either define a template name like this, Or alternatively, you can use the default naming, let's put it like that, which is the name of the model. So the name of this model, task, and then there's a keyword, let's say underscore form.html. You just join these two, and then you avoid defining the template name. I prefer to do things like that, makes it more simple, but then you need to make sure that you are using the correct naming. Okay, going to delete this from here. We can just test this really quickly. Let's see. Let's make a HTML head. Optionally make a title like tasks and body task. Let's see if it's being served. Save that, and in the browser, let's try to go to create task. It's working. There you go. But what we really want is a form in here with two fields and a button, so we can choose the title, the description, and submit it to the database. So to do this, we will create a form. Let me look for that in my notes. Okay. It's quite simple. So it's a traditional HTML form. We don't need the action because it's going to the same view that generated this page. And we need to define the method, make it post. Okay. Then don't forget to put in there the cross-site request forgery token for safety. Pass in the form just like that. And one last thing, create the submit button. So I'm gonna give it the value submit so it shows this text. And that's it. I'm going back to the browser and let's confirm that the form is in there. Perfect. Now we can already create a new task. Let's try that. Second task, we created one previously in the admin, and second description. Submit. The success URL that we have defined is taking us to the root, and let's confirm this in the admin dashboard for now. There you go, second task. So it's that simple. Let's make a quick review. We create a class-based view. It inherits from CreateView, so this is Django code. We associate it with the model that we want to use. We choose the fields and we define a success URL. Now, optionally, you can use the naming for a specific for the template, or you can define a specific template name. So we went the naming with the Django naming. Okay, this is the create task part. Now let's carry on with, we could make already the reading one. All right, let's just create a new class-based view for the read task. Let's go class read task. And this time we will use ListView. So make sure you are importing that from Django.views.generic and put it in there, ListView. Now, again, we define the model task and we give it a context object name. We can make it tasks. What this is doing is to create an object with the name tasks in the template that contains all the tasks. So right now it's only first task and second task. Again, you have two options in here. You either create a template name attribute with some specific template name, or you go with the naming from Django, which in this case is the name of the model plus, let's make it like this, list underscore list.html. And then you join them together, okay? So both options are valid. Personally, I just go with this one because it's less code, less complication. And task list.html. And what do we know from here? We will have an object tasks. So like that. But before we do this, we need to go to the urls.py and define the path for the read task. So in this one, yeah, normally I would use the index, but I'll change this one to index and leave this one like in the tutorial in the post in my blog. So we keep it all together, associated with the read task we have just created, and give it a name. Save that. Let's go back to the browser and see, reload it. Okay, what happened? Let me check. Okay, so in the path it doesn't need the slash, it goes with an empty string. And here we have it, a query set from tasks with all of our tasks created. Now we don't want to show this like in a query set. What we want is to put it in a for loop and display all of the tasks. Let me see. Task list. Where do I have that? Okay. We can make it something like this. I'm not even going to create the HTML structure. This is really for the video. So let's keep it focused on the CRUD part. A for loop for task in tasks. Then you need to end the for. Okay. And for. And inside here now we have access to single tasks. So task. And we can address either the title and the description, or both of them, description. But probably for this case we will stick just to the title. But let's see how it's looking like. Yeah, first description, first task is in here, second task, second description. But yeah, I'm gonna put a break in there. And for now that's it. Let's leave it like this. First task, second task. We can delete this. I'm just gonna put a title saying tasks. And for now it's good. So this was kind of step 2. Next thing, we need an option or a way to update our tasks. Okay, so how can we do that? Same thing, class update task, and we will need to import UpdateView from django.views.generic.edit. We use it in here, and you probably are guessing it by now. You need to define the model attribute, and it's going to be task. Okay, now this one is very similar to the create task. We also need to define the attributes. So again, it's going to be title and description. But this is optional. You could make just the description available, and the success URL. So I'm going to make it again the root. One interesting part from the update view or the update task, it uses the exact same template as the create task. Okay, so it's task form template. Before we test this, we need to create a path for the update view. Let me copy paste that. I'm already going to associate it with the update task and give it a name. So update task for the name. Now this one is a little bit different for the path, because what's happening in here is you will always update a specific task. So we need to say, or we need to reference which task are we updating. Now first we can define a common path, update task, but after that we need a way to reference a specific task. So in here, it's going to take a primary key of the task. Might look complex at first, it really is not. So after that, you can also add some more path to it. Could be edit, could be template, could be update. It doesn't really matter. Now, what this does is it takes in the path the primary key of a task. So it will look something like this. Okay, update task slash one slash edit. Let's try that. Let's force it in the URL with update task. Now I know we have two tasks, and at this point their primary keys are 1 and 2. Let's try the first one and end it with a slash edit. And there you go. It's the exact same template as before, like for the create task. But the difference is it's already showing the first task content. Okay. So it's that simple. It's really friendly, I would say. Now, one interesting thing that we can do to distinguish both of these pages is to pass in one other attribute: extra content. So in here we can define a dictionary with this key. I'm going to name it title and create task. I'm going to copy paste this, paste it into the update task. But for the update task, update. So as both of these class-based views are serving the same template, whenever we use title, it will use this value. So in task form, instead of using this hard-coded title, I'm going to simply use title, and also in here. Okay, let's save that. Okay, it didn't work. What happened? Okay, it's not extra content, it's extra context. So sorry, I confused that part. It should be working now. Exactly, perfect. Now let me try create task, create task. Let's create a third task. Third task, third description. Submit, and here they are. All right, we can consider this step 3. Step 4 and last step regarding the class-based views is to create a delete task. And again, we're going to use a delete view, also from generic.edit. And let's inherit from that one. As always, you need to associate it with the specific model. And this one is just taking one other attribute, which is the success URL. So where will you be redirected when you delete a task? Let's make it the same thing, to the root of the website. Now this specific class-based view from the ListView uses another naming. So we need to serve one other template. And this could be, again, one of those two options. You either define a specific template name or you use the Django convention, which is the name of the model followed by confirm confirm underscore delete. Okay, .html. So if you decide to use this one, you don't need to define the name of the template in the view. I'm gonna use that one. Let's create a new file like that. By the way, it can be starting with uppercase or lowercase, but let me make it the same for every case, like that. And again, in here, we will need another form. I'm not going to define HTML tags or head tags. Let's keep this really simple and define a form. Again, we need to define the method to be post. The cross-site request forgery token for security reasons. And we don't even need the form tag. So it just takes a button of type submit or an input if you prefer. Submit and delete. So submit with lowercase. We have the template. We can make it look a little bit better. But before, let's define the URL for this. So it's going to be, again, something very similar to update task, because whenever you are deleting a task, it's something specific. So you always need to reference which task are you deleting. So I'm just going to copy paste that and change to delete. Now this doesn't make sense to have, but you could put delete. And here we make it delete task, change the name, okay, delete, and that's it, okay, that's it. Now if we go to the browser and access this URL, we will have the form to confirm the deletion. So it's delete dash task, the primary key of a task, and end it with slash delete. If I click the button, it will delete it and return to the success URL. Let's do that and see. There you go. First task is permanently deleted. Now, instead of just showing that button, let's see. we should at least show the name of the task and probably even the description. So there's this way that we can do that. Let's go there and can make it age 1, and we can access the task, the specific task, with object. So this template task, this template tag object.title will retrieve the task title. The same thing for the description. We can make it on a paragraph object.description. Okay, save that. Let's reload the browser. Okay, this makes more sense now. That's about it for the class-based views. There are still some things, a couple of things that we should check before we end this video. But there you go. The most of CRUD is these 4 class-based views. Now keep in mind, you can make this more complex. You could add methods to it. You can process more information in here. It's up to you. It's whatever you need. But yeah, for the point of the video is to show you the class-based views. Okay, now about those things I wanted to show you before we end the video is, okay, we will not be accessing this through the browser URL. We want here to have links, either to update, to delete, to create. Okay, let's take care of that. So in here we are in task list, and first thing, the most simple one, is to create a URL for the create task page. So just pass in the name of the create task URL. Okay, we can give it a name, create a new task, something like that. Save, let's test it. Create a new task, so another task, submit. There it is. Well, it's not looking that beautiful, but it's functional, and that's what we want at this point. Now we want also a button or a link to the update page. So it's going to be another anchor tag, and this time it's just a little bit different, but nothing too bad. Again, we pass the name. We can copy from URLs, update task, bring it back to task list. But in here, and you remember, we are taking a argument. So this argument, we need to pass in the URL. It's quite simple. You pass in the task primary key. Okay, look, task primary key. That's all. And now we have a link to a specific task. Let's try that as well. Oh, I didn't give it a name. Let's try update. Just update. Reload. Second task could be updated, submit. It's updated. There we go. And now to end this, you're guessing it, we just need a link to the delete page. So very similar to the update. I'm even going to copy paste it. And the only thing that we need to change by now is the name of the path and the title of the link itself. So delete. Let's save that, go back to the browser, reload. Let's delete the second task. So it takes us to this confirmation page. And from here, we can decide if we really want to delete it or not. So we could go back, choose the third task instead, delete it, and there you go. CRUD with Django. What can I say? We didn't make it beautiful, but it's functional. So you can replicate this with a more fancy template. The back end part is in there. I leave the front end for you. I hope you liked the video. Let me know if there is something that I've missed, or if you are struggling with something, you can comment. I'll come back to you as soon as I can. And yeah, I hope you like it. And thank you.